The MaMaar that we will be doing Mirza Hashem tonight is a MaMaar from the 20th of Cheshvan, Tavshin Dalad Mem, in English, the year Tavshin Dalad Mem, and in English it's in late 1983. The MaMaar is a discourse that the Rebbe delivered on Thursday, Parsha Chayesora, the 20th of Cheshvan. The reason we are learning it today, although we're still up to Parsha Vayera, is because it's a MaMaar connected with the Rebbe Rashab and Chav Cheshvan, and this Shabbos is Chav Cheshvan.
Which is?
The 20th of Cheshvan, which is the birthday of the 5th Rebbe of Chabad. So this is a MaMaar that the Rebbe delivered, Hasidic discourse, based on the Hasidic discourse of the Rebbe Rashab, who said it in a MaMaar 18, what is it now? 1984, so it's 1884.
The father of the previous Rebbe.
That's the father of the previous Rebbe, the 5th Rebbe of Chabad. So we're ready to begin the MaMaar. And this is a MaMaar that begins with a verse from the coming Parsha Chayesora. Avraham zoken ba bayomim, Hashem beirachas Avraham bakel. That Avraham was old, he came in his days. So as it will be explained what it means, he came in his days. Hashem beirachas Avraham bakel. And the Eibishter, the Almighty, blessed Avraham with everything. Maybe Bal Yemai Leder, so the Rebbe Rashab, who is the 5th Rebbe of Chabad, who we celebrate. This was the occasion when this discourse was delivered. The celebration of commemorating his birth date. MaMaar in his Hasidic discourse, Divrei Maschal Zelef Neimei Oshana, in his MaMaar, in the discourse that he delivered 100 years earlier, in the year 1884 or 1883, that our generation merited v'nitzvas MaMaar zel achreino, that this MaMaar, this discourse was printed, published l'achreino lately, which is interesting. This was published together with the discourses of the previous year, Tafresh Mem Gimel. So it's two years combined in one volume. And when I get to the first part of the volume, the first half of the volume, is so actually it has interesting background. It was given to print in late 1940s, and it was eventually printed in late 1982. It was in the press for from the 40s through the 70s, about 35 years. And then it came 100 years since the Rebbe Rashab said this MaMaar, so they asked the Rebbe if they can already print this book of discourses, and the Rebbe said, yeah. So it was printed at the 100th anniversary. Yeah. So Mele says that our generation merited, and this was printed. The Isa b'Medrash, what does he bring in this Hasidic discourse? He brings that the Medrash says Rish Lakish said shehishlite beyitzrei. That when it says Hashem, the Almighty, blessed Avram with everything. So the question is, what is it? What is the significance of mentioning it here? What did he give him? Hainu dezeh Hashem beirachas Avram bakilu shehishlite beyitzrei. That what the Eibishter gave him bakel in everything. So Ishlite B'Yitzri, that he gave him, Ishlite B'Yitzri means that he actually made that he should be able to control his inclination. He asked the question, what is the blessing so unique? In comparison to Avram, that what is the big accomplishment, that it should be considered such a significant blessing, exceptional blessing, by Avraham Avinu, when he was already tried out with 10 tribulations, and he went through all of them. So what's the big thing that he said? He put him in control of his inclination, evil inclination. What is the bracha that he gave him control over his inclination?
1 second, the Nisa'as was before the bracha, before what was after?
Oh yeah, because this is already after the Akedah. The Akedah was the 10th. The Akedah was before Ptira Sarah, And Avram Zokan Bayomim is already Bahi Acharei, Bahi Yu Yemei Chayesora.
So what's the question? It's not about in the snails because
he was already.
Because
he already had it, and he already was able to overwhelm it. So what did he need this for? What was this special that as if saying that he would not, that this was an accomplishment that he was given? He already went through the 10 difficult nisyanas. One was, and especially the last one, which was the 10th one, which is the harshest of all of them. As Chassidus explains different reasons for that. One of the reasons is because a person could go through a test alone, but not a test for someone else, not put someone else in danger. Before it says Vashem Berachas Avram Bakeil, Sheishlite Beyitzre Magdem Akosov, the pasuk says Avram Zokim Bo Bayomim. That before it says that the Eibishter blessed Avram with everything, so it says that he Avram Zokim Bayomim, that he was old, Bo Bayomim came in his days. So this is what it says in the verse before it says that he blessed him with everything. So Bekiv Mesha Seder B'Teiru Gamkin Seder B'Ay Rosh B'Dovar, that since the union of Seder and Teira, this sequence in Teira, is also a lesson. The sequence itself is a lesson. How they move on the B'Chdei Yev Hashem Berachas Avram Bakeil. That in order it should be fulfilled. That Hashem has blessed Avram with everything. So before that needs to be a inyan that Avram Zokin Bo Bayom. Needs to be the inyan that the introduction needs to be that he was becoming old and came in his days. Which this is the literal meaning, and as the Rebbe is going to explain the deeper insight of this verse. So therefore this is the sequence. First he was old and he came in his days, and then after that Hashem blessed him with everything.
According to Chassidus, he's at Sanded Gomer. He has no Yitzhahara. So what's he being given control over?
Yeah, okay. So he went through everything. He went through the Nisyanas. This in itself raised him up to a higher level. Because the union of Nisoyan, a trial on the tribulation, when a person is put to test and he stands by the test, so then this lifts him up to a higher level because he went through another challenge and darkness, which just accomplished an acceleration in him. And the Rebbe Rashab, the fifth Rebbe of Chabad, explains in his discourse, on which this discourse is based, Hainu B'siyum HaMaimer, in the end of the Maimer, Ki Guf HaMaimer Hu Chelik Ma'hemshech. That when we speak about in the Maimer, we're referring back to the discourse of the Rebbe Rashab, so it's referring to the end of that Maimer. Because in the middle of the Maimer itself, most of the topic of the Maimer is referring to a Maimer that came before that discourse. Because in general, the Babich Rabbis would say Hemsheichim are called discourses with a sequence, in a certain sequence, one after the other, and they would ask questions in one and begin discussing a topic, and in the next one they would refer back to the previous one and continue with the topic. So this is called a hemshech, a continuation, a sequence of Maimorim, a series of Maimorim. So therefore, the Rebbe says that when he is referring to the Maimer of the Rebbe Rashab, the discourse of the Rebbe Rashab, he's referring to the end of that Maimer, which was said 100 years earlier. Hemshech l'Maimer shalafon of Agdom l'Maimer shalacharov. That because the Maimer itself, the middle of the Maimer, the main topic, the highlight of the Maimer is referring in that discourse from 100 years ago to a Maimer which he said, to a Chassadik discourse that he said a little earlier than that. And here the Rebbe says a very interesting thing, not only that it's a Hemshech to before, but it's an introduction to later. This is you don't find it in that we should describe it like that, but here the Rebbe throws in the three words, that every part of a Hemshech, of a series of Maimorim, is actually like a chain. It's a link from before, and it's an introduction to later. That in other words, where does he address the issue? He addresses the issue only by the end of the Maimer. Because this is how it was, that the Rabbeim, when they would say a Maimer, Hasidic discourse, and they would make a series of it, sometimes continue a year, or 3.5 years. Like it was in 1912, the Rebbe Rashab started to say a Maimer Shavuos 1912, and he went on till late 1915, Parsha Vayera. When he left Lubavitch, this is a series of 144 Maimorim.